Now that you've got the sorting of data down, we're going to work with filtering data. And a filter is just a set of restrictions you place on the records in an open data sheet or form to temporarily isolate a subset of the total records. A filter lets you view different subsets of displayed records so that you can focus on only the data that you actually need. Now, unless you save a query or form with a filtered applied, an applied filter is not available the next time that you run the query or open your form. Now, the simplest technique for filtering records is filter by selection, which lets you select all or part of a field value in a datasheet or form, and then it displays only those records that contain the selected value in the field. Okay, let's find in our city field the first value that allows us to see the city of Windsor. Go ahead and select that. And with that selected, let's go up to the sort and filter group here. Then click the selection button. And you see when you click on that, a menu pops up with options for the type of filter apply. So in our selection menu, click equals Windsor. Now Access displays the filtered results. Only the 24 records, as you look down here, only those 24 records that have a city field value of Windsor are appearing in our datasheet view. Now go to the reason field and let's take a look there and look for a value beginning with the word annual, and then select only that word annual as you see in this record here. So we take our mouse, we highlight the word annual, then we go up here to the sort and filter group again, click selection one more time, and you'll see that we have that as an option here now. Begins with annual. So let's go ahead and select that. And now a second filter has been applied to our query datasheet here, which shows only 4 records for customers that are located in the city of Windsor. And in our reason field here, they must contain the word, or starts with the word annual. Now if we wanted to go away from this information and look at all of our records again, we can redisplay all those 85 records again by simply clicking the toggle button or the toggle filter button here. So if you select that and just click that, all 85 records have now been put back on display here in our query sheet. Go ahead and close this patient visits query. And when you go to do that, Access is going to say, do you want to save these changes that you made in the design of this query? Go ahead and click the No button this time. And now the patient table has been closed. Alright, let's go ahead and close our navigation pane and let's create a new query. So in our ribbon up here, click the Create tab. We're going to go to the Queries group again, and we're going to click the Query Design. And this time we're going to click the Patients table. Let's go ahead and click the Visit table again. And let's click the Close button down here to close this dialog box. We're going to resize patient here so we can see all the available fields. Now with our table selected, let's go ahead and start adding some fields. We're going to go ahead and pick last name, first name, phone, address, city, and email from the patient table. So go ahead and start adding those now. And then from your visit table, go ahead and add visit ID, visit date, and we'll go ahead and select reason. Those are all of the fields that you need from your two tables for this query. Now let's start creating some conditions And when we're creating conditions, we'll be using the criteria area here. So we're going to click the city criteria box to make that active. And the city that we are going to be putting in is Bloomfield. So go ahead and type Bloomfield in there now. Make sure that your spelling is correct here. Once you have that entered, hit the enter and you will see that because it is a text field, Access puts those quotes around it. Let's go ahead and save this query now. We're going to call it Bloomfield Patients. So go up here to your quick access bar and make sure you hit the save button. When it asks for a name, go ahead and type in Bloomfield Patients and press the enter key so that now you can see your changes have been taken. Now in your results group here in your design tab, go ahead and run your query. Now Access has run the query and displays the selected field values for only those records with a city of Bloomfield, and it looks like everything is on here that we need. We should have a total of 14 records, which we do, so we know that our query is successful. Now let's modify this query a little bit. Let's remove the display of the city field values. So in your Views group, go ahead and select Views to switch to the Design view. Now that you are in there, let's go ahead and click the City Show box. So we've now deselected that. We've removed the check mark. Now the query will still find only those records with the value of Bloomfield in the city field, but our query results will not display this field name. Next, let's position our pointer here to the Visit ID field. And we're going to hold that over the top there until you see it change to a dark, bold down arrow. And you should see that just like that. Now you can click and hold that and you'll see that it changes to a box or with a black vertical line appearing to the left of the selected field, and that line is going to represent the selected field when we decide to reposition this, because we're going to move this field and we're going to go ahead and we're going to move that now. So make sure that you select the whole thing with your left mouse button, and let's reposition this Visit ID as our initial field. So we're going to drag this Visit ID field all the way to the left of the last name field. So as you hold your left arrow button and you move, you will see that black vertical bar moves with you. That's telling you where that field's going to be positioned. So if we move it over here, we let go, and the Visit ID field is now to the left of the last patient field. Now let's select a couple fields. So let's go over here to the Visit Date until our arrow becomes a double arrow. And when you click on the left button, go ahead and hold that, drag it to the right of reason, and now those release with your left mouse button, and now both of those fields are selected. Now let's go ahead and position those to the left of the last name field as well, and now we will be able to have those three fields that we have been working with be listed prior to last name. So we will have Visit ID displayed to field, the visit date, and the reason field all displayed prior to this group when we run our query. Go ahead and click out of there. Let's go in the Design tab in our Results group. Let's run this query. And we run and we see, just as we expected, Visit ID, date of visit, and reason are our first three columns. And as you recall, we hid our city field, so that is no longer being displayed either. Now that you've modified this query and everything looks great for our 14 records, let's go ahead and save and close this query. We've saved our changes and closed.